Can you tell me about how you and the family are feeling 4 years on?
At this moment, I feel heartbroken. Anyone who suffered a loss like this knows how hard the anniversaries are, but we're also very grateful to have such an amazing legal team and friends and family supporting us, and also charities like Inquest, Rape Crisis, and of course the Centre for Women's Justice, who all recognise the systemic failures that affected Gaia and still affect so many people in our community. I think we're looking forward to the inquest with equal parts hope and dread. We know that it will be extremely traumatic, but the waiting has been too. Every few months, something else comes out to us, and however terrible or shocking it is, you can't talk about it. You're not allowed to say anything. You can't warn people. It's honestly torture. And once we finally get the chance to speak in open court and the press have a chance to start reporting this stuff to the public, then that's when the campaign can finally start.
How do you want her to be remembered by the public?
We want Gaia to be remembered for who she was, a very bright, very brave, kind, creative young woman who had so much to offer the world and was so much more than the terrible trauma which, because she didn't get the support she needed, shaped the last years of her life. She was also very funny. Gaia had this amazing light inside her that was why she was so loved by so many people, and why just the memory of that has kept us going for so long.
Is there anything special you're doing to remember Gaia?
We do mark the anniversary every year with an ongoing Art for Gaia project, which invites people to submit creative work, drawings, poems, music, anything. And that's been really beautiful to watch that grow over the past 4 years. There are also some really simple actions that anyone can take online to support the campaign and remember Gaia. And you can find out more at justiceforgaia.com/help. This year, the big marker for the anniversary has been the Centre for Women's Justice calling for people to come forward with any information about Connor Hayes, because we believe that there were big failures in that police investigation that might still be leaving people at risk today. Before she died, Gaia came forward as a survivor to report to Dorset Police. They quickly dropped her case, although Hayes, who's originally from Bournemouth, was then imprisoned and released and imprisoned again for child sex offences. He made threats against Gaia's life and us and made repeated attempts to contact her, and the trauma that this caused was just absolutely beyond words. Gaia believed that he had links to an organised ring practicing child sexual exploitation. She wanted that investigated and other women and girls protected, and that is exactly what we want now. The inquest won't really look at these investigative failures, but we wanted to provide a safe, confidential alternative to the police for victims or witnesses who might have any information, so that they felt more safe to come forward. And we know lots of people have lost confidence in the police, including us. So, to anyone listening, if you think that you know something but were afraid to go to the police or felt ignored by them, please reach out to the Centre for Women's Justice. They will listen.
In the past year, there's obviously been a spotlight on reporting of rape and violence against women. Do you feel as though the public now have a good awareness of the issue, or is there still some way to go?
We have a long, long way to go. One of the things the Me Too movement really exposed, I think, when we saw how many stories of women were being responded to with the question, yes, but is it really rape? Yes, but is it really harassment? Shows how patchy awareness is and how serious rape culture remains in this country. A third of men think that it can't be rape if a woman has flirted on a date, even if she hasn't consented to sex. And 2 in 10 women also believe this. In 2021, that should be a source of great national shame, frankly. And in some ways, things are actually getting worse. Recent years has seen millions of pounds cut from frontline support services, which has left tens of thousands of victims without safe refuge, counselling, and appropriate support. And as a survivor, you're less likely to see your rapist convicted today than you were in the 1970s. This is a national crisis, and the solutions are there. What we need is public pressure to make it happen. We need serious action and investment to safeguard our families and communities, and we need it now, but we're not going to get it unless everyone is making their voices heard.
What are you hoping will come out from the inquest next year?
We know it's going to be very painful, but the hope is that we and the public will finally have answers about what happened to Gaia and what needs to change to save lives like hers in the future. Justice for Gaia is part of a national movement that is working towards a Britain where survivors are heard, respected, and protected. What I hope is that the inquest leaves us with a chance to contribute to that, because Dorset is sadly no exception. Over the past 10 years, the number of sex offences reported to Dorset Police has doubled, but the number of charges brought has halved. They don't even have a specialist rape unit in Dorset Police even now. Last year alone, one Dorset Police officer strangled a woman to death. Another used his position to commit sexual offences himself. Another was sacked for sexually assaulting a female colleague. The list goes on, and this is the force that is supposed to be keeping us safe, giving justice to people like Gaia. No. So, yeah, the inquest isn't the end of the road. I think the justice that we need to see is going to take a long time to win. But the alternative is to do nothing while the list of names of women who should be here and aren't gets longer and longer, until one day someone you love is on it. That's what we want to stop. That's what Justice for Gaia is about.
Would you say Gaia was an early victim of what many would now say is a cultural problem in the police?
Yes, I would. Gaia and countless others. Sitting in those police interviews with her and seeing from the inside to some extent how that investigation was handled shocked me to my core. You think you know how bad things are, but then you see it for yourself and it's life-changing. A police officer said on Channel 4 the other day, it feels like we're investigating the victims more than we investigate the perpetrators, which says it all, I think. We don't just need an independent inquiry into the Metropolitan Police, we need it nationally. Otherwise, public confidence in the police will continue to collapse. I'd support anyone's decision to report abuse, but I'd also say do not go to the police station on your own. Bring someone you trust and get yourself an independent sexual violence advisor from your local rape crisis centre, because at the moment, the system that is set up to deal with these crimes is doing almost as much damage as the criminals themselves.
What is your message out there to young women who are perhaps scared, suffering maybe from trauma after a sexual crime, who may need help?
This is such a hard question for me because, I sat with Gaia in her police interviews. I tried to help her access support. I've seen from the inside how impossible it is, however hard you're trying. Um, I really wish there was a service I could name and say, here, call this number and they'll give you the help that you need. There are some really great groups out there. The National Domestic Violence and Rape Crisis Helplines are a really, really good place to start, and I'd encourage anyone to call either of them. But it's not that simple. We all know that. I think what I would say is this: the system is failing us so badly that, like sexual abuse itself, after a while, it can make you feel like it must be you, that you're the problem. But it's not you. If you've been denied access to the justice you deserve or the support you need, you're far from alone. But the good news is that there is a whole movement, and Justice for Gaia and our partners are part of that movement, where your voice is valued, and we are not going to stop fighting until we see change. So if you want to take some power back and you don't want to be having the same conversation with your grandkids when we're old, get involved. That's what gives me hope, that movement. I've no faith in this system, but I have faith in people. I have faith in our community. Um, I saw with the community search for Gaia how much power and love and integrity there is amongst ordinary people. Um, I believe that we can make a difference. Gaia believed that too, and she is still making a difference even now.